Hello and welcome to another episode of Monday BJJ with me, your host, Brian. We've been practicing arm drags in class a lot, so I thought I'd try to practice one here. I think the main thing that helped here was grabbing the belt as I went to circle around, and the fact that he just, I think, didn't want to circle as much with me. We spent a lot of time in north-south, transitioning back and forth between north-south and side control, and eventually landed in a north-south choke. And here we see two brown belts in the natural habitat, having a casual conversation while observing their prey, the white belt. They're discussing the best ways to maim and otherwise eat him. You can see this time my opponent was being a lot more aggressive in his hand fighting and positioning, but I stuff his head and then pull him back, roll him over. We get a little bit of foreground action here. Hey, give you a spot. Really have no idea what these white belts are doing. It's kind of crazy what these guys up to. You can see he transitions here to prepare for a sweep and hits it pretty well. He's even able to continue cross into side control. I tried to capture his head or keep his head captured there, but he wound up getting out of it. I try to roll him, but I don't, and so I wind up just throwing him kind of into a high mount. And the second time I try to throw him, I wind up getting in my arm for an arm bar. So here he's pulling me into guard. He sweeps me. I try to maintain this half guard and then transition to a butterfly sweep in the end of the round ends. This guy was a blue belt and he was doing some lasso spider guard stuff and he's just very energetic. I try kind of a pressure pass to get around him and I don't quite get in between his knees. He does this kind of weird banana split pass and then winds up taking my back because I was not really sure what was going on. And he did a really good job of the pass too. So I tried to roll out to the side and he wound up on my back again. And then I wound up getting to my side, but he winds up choking me again. But we were in that choke for a long time. I cut out most of it because it wasn't really worth seeing. So here again, I'm pressuring, but I'm on the wrong side and he's kind of pushing back into me. He does kind of a leg lock on me, but he was really nice and soft with it. So I was able to tap before anything terrible happened. And then here he had two butterfly hooks in. He winds up switching that out for a full guard. And then he really sucks me in and he's working the leg up to kind of set up for a triangle. He stuffs one hand out and then really locks it up. And I tried to pressure around through it, but didn't quite get there. So I did wind up getting triangled. And then there was another interesting, he has a lot of really interesting stuff where he would pin one foot and then get the other foot. And so here he does one of those neat back take roll things. And I think I was thinking about kind of like a fireman's carry roll. And so I tried to roll him while he rolled me and kind of almost worked out. And then we wind up here tangled up in the belt. And just a good round in general. So here I'm against another white belt, and I tried to do a Russian tie, and it didn't work out well for me. I got my head stuffed, and rather than tap or anything, I just kind of kept rolling with it and basically being halfway choked for half the match. If you hear my cat meowing, that's because she's upstairs and she's always hungry. So he's trying to transition to the full mount, and he gets there, and I'm continuing to try to stuff my legs back in. I get a half guard, almost kind of get a lockdown, but he winds up getting like an Americana on me from basically north-south, which was pretty impressive. And then that round was over. Here I am against our instructor. I try to throw him. I don't quite land the throw, and so he's able to latch onto my back. And I just raised my arm there for a second because I have a question. I don't know what the question is, but I have one. So he's kind of rolling me over and working me over. He gets me in that sort of same north-south choke that seems to be happening to me more and more. So I probably need to ask about that and figure out what I'm doing wrong there. He throws me again, and then he raises his hand in the air. He has a question apparently too, so I'm not sure what that's about, but you'll see that a couple more times. So I'll probably need to ask about that and see what that's all about too. So here, he has a really smooth mount transition, like not throwing its leg over so that he could possibly get rolled by the momentum. And he's working this leg up for a higher and higher mount. He finishes me with a choke. So there, do some spider guard. And I try to transition to like I don't know, something on the bottom. I'm not real good with a lot of the X pass or De La Riva stuff. And he rolls me over, and I try to do the same sweep to him, and I just kind of wind up throwing him into the mount. So there's the question again, arm raised up in the air. This was a new guy that just walked in off the street, and so I kind of get him in a guillotine choke. We also had talked about the guillotine choke earlier tonight, so I figured that was a good way to refresh that lesson for him. Kind of hit him in another guillotine, but this one I don't finish. Just transition to the mount and get him in Americana. And then here he kind of presses forward into me, and I'm able to set up a triangle on him. And not my like best triangle, but it worked. So, and then here he's pressuring into me some more, and almost wind up on top, but not quite. So now he's pressuring me into side control, and I just keep trying to walk my legs around so that I can be in guard. And he overbalances on top of me, so I flip him over with a butterfly, and we wind up in full guard, and I think the round was over. So here I am back with this guy. I try the Russian tie again. We basically wind up in the same position. He tries to get my head in between his legs, and so I just transition to north-south to get out of his legs. And he tries sort of like a reverse loop choke. And again, I just transition to north-south and then back around to the other side control to kind of get out of it. I don't remember how I finished the choke there. So here I am against this blue belt again, and I just try to go in between his legs and get around his guard, and kind of wind up giving him my back. So that didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. And here I'm just fighting the hooks to keep him out. And I wind up kind of getting out of one thing, and then he arm bars me, I think, from the top. And so I wind up doing another weird thing, giving him my back, and he throws me back down when I try to stand up. And then I at least wind up getting on my side, and then he takes my arm from there. So there, I don't know what I was thinking. I tried to like step back, and it didn't really work out well for me. So he winds up taking my back again. We roll off camera. We struggle to get back onto camera, and I think he does like a bow and arrow choke on me, basically. So that was a lot of fun. I love bow and arrows. Here I'm trying to do kind of a loop choke on him, and I think the round ended before I could really lock it up. So there I try another arm drag against brown belt coach. Probably not my best idea. I see he raises his arm again. He has another question. And there he's like really putting his knee like across my chest, which is really uncomfortable. And so I just keep trying to get out from underneath his pressure, and he just continues to keep applying pressure to me, which is really good. Like you really need that training to understand how to withstand the pressure, so you don't just tap when he's on top of you like that. And here he's moving towards a triangle setup, and I'm kind of in a dangerous spot, so I just think, hey, maybe I'll just pop out and try to go around, and eventually I do wind up in side control, but I overbalance, and he's able to just push me off. So I switch to more of a spider guard and try to break his posture down, and then he just steps on my leg and prevents me from doing that. And then here I do still have his leg, and so I thought I was going to try to butterfly sweep, but he winds up stepping the rest of the way around. And here he's locking up a Kimura grip on my arm, and so it's just a matter of time until he gets that arm bar, which is what he winds up getting me with. And so here he let me get into side control, and I transitioned into this really weird high mount where I'm basically just sitting on his chest. But that'll be all for today, so please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. The worst part about the Kimura grip is all the self-violence. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Anybody ever runs at you like this and then immediately sits down and puts their hands out like, don't come near me, you're in for a bad time. I don't know, man. It was just like threw him down to the ground. It was sick. Yeah, and it was just like, vroom, 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 vroom.